All right, all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends. So excited to be with you. Very, very, very excited. The reason being because the topic we're going to be talking about today, it's of great importance. I know I did a video on it. I'm going to go even further into this. Before I'll do all this, I like to, as always, guys, that's my rule. I always like to express my sincere thanks to the channel's members and supporters. And I want to give a shout out to the new channel members. It's the first one is Polka Dots. Thank you so much for becoming channel's members. And second person is Theo Mong Wat. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Thank you so much for your support. And if you happen to be the first time watching this and landing here, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. So, and by the way, we are at 40 members. By the time we reach 100, I am going to do an exclusive Q&A for the members. I take also this opportunity to say thank you to all of you who didn't give up on me last time when the sound went off. I was off for about, what, 15 minutes or so? Thank you so much for sticking around and not giving up on me. I truly appreciate it. So, well, first, let me go back here and check. Please give me a thumbs up if if you hear me clearly, because I want to make sure. I can't take chances again. Oh, Osiris, let me say thank you to Osiris. Thank you so much for your super sticker, Osiris. I can't thank you enough, man, for your continued support. It says a lot, and I am so grateful and appreciative of your effort. Thank you so much, Osiris. So, all right, let me put my glasses here. Hello, Amit, to you. Please, once again, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, because I want to make sure. I can't take chances with this time around. So, and of course, type in where you are joining me from. I will really appreciate it. Go. Thank you very much, Huang Long, Hamadi Sethi. Sound is good. Perfect. So let's dive into and I will go back later, like we always do, to highlight where some of you are joining me from. So today's topic, we're going to be talking an extension to what I did on a video about Japan. Japan pertaining to the radioactive waste that's going to be dumping in the ocean. And I'll start it with a question that we all need to ask. Is Japan lying? Yeah, I'll use the term. Is Japan lying about radioactive waste that is about to dump in the Pacific Ocean? So, second thing is, why dump it in the ocean? And the reason I'm saying this is, aren't there other options? Doesn't Japan have other options? Couldn't they bury it on their ground? Stay within Japan instead of contaminating the rest of the world? Because this is not about just the neighboring countries. We're talking about the rest of the world. That contamination, that radioactive waste is going to hit us right here in the US. Let alone the neighboring countries, the South Korea, both Koreas, the China, the Philippines, you name it, the whole region. But it's not about just that. So why dump it in the ocean? And the third thing we need to think about before we delve into the conversation is the health hazards and the consequences of it. And I am going to detail for you all what you need to know based on the consequences of this. But before I do this, let me also do a tour around the world quickly for you to know or to be aware of what's coming up soon. So we'll start with the first one here. And let me share some images with you. All right, the first one is this one right here. Right, this one here. This one has to do with Mr. Putin. Will be visiting Turkey next month. I am keeping my eyes open. Of course, I will do a video for you. And the only thing you need to think about right now is, interesting enough, is that the visit is coming next month, which coincided with the time frame of the BRICS summit, but also the conversation between Turkey and Ukraine about grains, the shipment of grain. So that's something you need to just be aware of. Second thing, it has to do with, of course, and I did a video for you on this one here. It has to do with, here she is, right here. That's the Secretary of Treasury Yellen in China. What's interesting about this photo, guys? Can anybody tell me? Yeah, just type it on the chat box. Yeah, I'm not going to answer it now. And remind me later, okay? Tell me what's interesting about this photo. So, this is about her ongoing trip to China. Of course, going to beg for money because that's the only reason why she's going, but also begging China not to dump US treasuries. This is another thing. A lot of entities now are dumping US debt. They kind of seeing what's coming, let alone that BRICS, and as a matter of fact, Russia today confirmed that BRICS will be using new currency backed by gold. So what is she doing in China to begin with? Okay, third element. Oh, this guy here. Well, not guy, but he's the prime minister of Dutch. It's another weak leader. He's another yes sir, yes ma'am. So what is going on with him? The government in Netherlands has collapsed. Yeah, you're not hearing much about it. Of course, it collapsed over the issue of immigration, but the government in Netherlands has collapsed. But again, this guy here, he is the same guy that ended up doing this to farmers in Netherlands. You know, those are people making living out of that. That's basically what he's doing, because he was given the orders to go ahead and do that. So, and the last thing I'll share with you is this image here. This is hardening. You know why? Because while France is burning, Mr. Macron and his wife was partying. Yeah, believe it or not. So Macron ignored the growing burning anger in his country and went ahead and dances in a noisy party and so forth. So as you know, I'm sure you're aware of the protests in France and what's going on with all that. So that's why I wanted to share with you. All right, let me check one more time again. I've learned my lesson. I want to make sure the sound is good. Please give me a thumbs up. I just can't take chance for that. It's because what I have to share with you today, guys, is a lot of information, and I don't want you to miss any bit of it. So if you will be kind and just put a thumbs up there again, just to make sure. And I'm gonna keep going here while I'm looking for a thumbs up in the chat box here. So, all right, let's talk about health tips. And health tips will be related to what we're gonna be talking about today. So what are we talking about? All right, let me see again. Hamad City, thumbs up. Athin Wu, thumbs up. Meow Smiley, thumbs up. Thank you so much, guys. Truly appreciate it. So let's talk about health tips that is pertaining to this radioactive. So I had to look for the information for you to know. So the case, listen carefully, guys, the case of a serious nuclear accident, radioactive iodine can be released in the air. So what does it mean? Is increasing the risk of this. Look at this picture here, guys. This is what is pertaining to. Those are your thyroids. This is what radioactive is going to be doing. So increasing the risks of thyroid cancer and acute radiation sickness. So non-radioactive iodine, listen carefully, guys, non-radioactive iodine, which is found in potassium iodide. Yes, let me repeat this. Potassium iodide supplements. Those are supplements you can buy outside. Help to prevent the radioactive iodine from concentrating in your thyroid gland. That's what it is. So potassium iodide protects only the thyroid, but thyroid is the organ at the greatest risk from radioactive iodine. So this is where I am seeing the link between what Japan is going to be doing and how the cases of cancer, especially for the thyroid, we're going to see an increased number in Asia because Japan is planning on this for the next 10 years or so. That's how it's going to be. So to protect your health from dangers of radiation exposure, My advice to you, and based on the research that I did, take potassium iodide tablets. Or you can also take what they call Lugol's solution. Those the two can really protect you at least. And those include, both of them includes potassium iodide and iodine in water. So as your thyroids, they get saturated with the non-radioactive iodine, the radioactive iodine gets flushed out of your body through your urine when you go pee. That's how it gets exits your body. So there are other supplements out there that can help reduce the damage associated rather with the radiation exposure, like for example vitamin D3 and molecular hydrogen. Those are the ones to help you at least with that. So remember one thing, just FYI, your body does not produce iodine. Iodine does not produce that, but you can get it through your diet. Once again, this is what I'm going to be launching, that health channel I talked to you about. Didn't forget, we're putting it together, just the idea of how it's going to be, because those information or the tips you need to understand, and I'm going to be doing it systematically because it will be organized. So you can deal with this issue of radioactive protection through food that are naturally, here's the key, the food that is naturally iodine rich. For example, sea vegetables, prunes, raw dairy products, eggs, and Himalayan pink sea salt. Now you see why I talked to you about salt last time. So, but anyway, this is what I need you to understand about what's going on with that. So, all right, let's dive into our topic here, because let me take a look quick here, because I have so many screens open here, so to maintain order. But that's okay, it's all fine. So all right, let's go to our topics. So now I'm going to provide some images and everything, because you need to see the big picture. So as I mentioned in the recorded video, this is by that's the reason why I asked you to put a comment if you want, because I read those and asked if I could do an update or an extension of the conversation. And here it is. So Japan will be releasing 1 million tons. Yeah, let me show you the image here, because with images it will make perfect sense to you guys to see, because you need to see that. This is what they're going to be releasing. 1 million tons. So that's what they're going to be releasing. 1 million tons of lightly contaminated water into the Pacific Ocean. And the way to see this, you need to look at the map of Japan. Like I said earlier, if you are to look where they're going to release it, they're saying, oh, it just go into the Pacific Ocean. The water is not idle. The water moves. It's going to end up here in the US, in Hawaii, in California. So what do you think the neighboring countries in the region is going to be having? This is where I see the decision by the Japanese government is kind of, something is going on. This can be. And we're going to be discussing all this in detail. So the water, by the way, as you may know, the water was used to cool reactors at the crippled Fukushima Daiichi, the nuclear power plant. So now, like I mentioned last time, the scientific community is already divided. And why is this important for you to know? When it comes down to any issue pertaining to, and I'm going to share a real life story with you for you to put this in perspective after I finish explaining this. So the scientific community, one of them saying, oh, there is nothing wrong with the water. It's slightly contaminated. It's either contaminated or not. That's like the issue of thyroids. If your thyroids are impacted, you're not going to be saying, oh, they are impacted lightly. They will be damaged. Cancer will emerge. This is exactly what they're saying. The scientific community, oh, it's divided. One is saying, is like, oh, it's okay. Other one's saying no. So to me, it's hypocrisy. because that's what it is. And here is the thing. A regulator. No, let me share the story with you before I forget, because it's important to know. Back in the 60s, it was, and the research, by the way, is now declassified. That's why I'm able to talk about it. It has been declassified for the last few years. I haven't shared it with my students in classroom. Back then, around the 1966 or so, it was a research conducted at Harvard University. Okay, and the research was about finding out the link between sugary drinks and type 2 diabetes. In other words, diabetes and sugary drinks. Do they have a link? So when the research was conducted there, and they are about to release the findings, the beverage industry, and this is here in the US, the beverage industry went ahead and reached out to the scientists and gave them, based on the record that I looked into, $60,000. Now remember, $60,000 back then, which will be worth a lot today. And why did they give them the money? They give them the money to hash out, put a lid on that research and rephrase it, sort of manipulate the exact results. And they did. That research, the outcome of it, never see the daylight. And that's why you see now, we noticing this here in America. I mean, I see, people consuming that. That's why I said last time, guys, stay away from sodas, stay away from drinks, stay away from sugary stuff, stay away from colorful drinks where you are causing harm to your health. The beverage industry doesn't care. The agriculture industry doesn't care. The meat industry doesn't care. The big pharma doesn't care. They want you sick. Stay away from it. So what they end up doing is, by giving that money to these researchers, they put a lid on the research. It was declassified that indeed they found there was a link between sugary drinks and type 2 diabetes. So, and by the way, you can reverse that through food if you know what you're doing. And that's one of the issues I'm going to be topics, rather, not issues, I'm going to be talking to you about when the health channel is launched down the road. So back to our topic here, regulators. And you will find out who the regulators are. That's why I did find out there was a cover-up about this. Regulators began a final safety inspection before treated Fukushima, the wastewater, is released into the ocean or into the sea. Some of Japan's neighbors, this is why now the issue is becoming more than just environment, more than just health, is even becoming political. So, because some of Japan's neighbors remain skeptical of the plan despite claims from Japan that the water to be released in the ocean is tap water. As a matter of fact, China has formally complained to the Japanese embassy in Beijing because that is going to be reaching out their water. That just, just guys, take a step back and think what this is going to do to the fish industry. Some people who are living on, go to the ocean and get fish and sell it to the market. That's the livelihood. What this is going to do to them? And despite concerns from several nations, this is what bugs the mind. For us in the US, we're not saying a word. We're saying mum. So what is this hype on hoopla about the environment, the green this, green that? Where is that teenager, what's her name, the Swedish Greta? It's naive. Where is she? Where is everybody? They're not saying a word. So despite concerns from several nations and the international groups as well, Japan, as I said, is pressing ahead with the plan to release that water contaminated back then. It was contaminated back in 2011 in the Fukushima Daiichi. As a matter of fact, I do have a picture here for you. You need to see it. Where's my reading glasses? Yeah, right there. This is where they are putting all that, in addition to the other picture I showed you. So all this, they've been put in place, and now they are reaching capacity. That is the reason why they have no other choice. So releasing it into the Pacifics. So starting, get this, guys. This is why I had to share with you that tip about the iodine. Why is it important? Because of this. And listen carefully, please. Starting sometime this year, which is towards the end of the year, not now, the end, because the plan is for the beginning of 2024, which is only 6 months from now anyway, and continuing for the next 30 years. That's the key word right there. For the next 30 years. So just do the math. If you are, let's say, hypothetically 30 years of age, okay, you are 20, you are 50, whatever. At 30 years, dealing with waste, radioactive waste, which could impact your thyroid, or it can even impact your skin. And I'm going to show you images. They are not. Check this out, guys. Look at that. This is from a reaction to radiation. Okay. Look at this one here. You start having your hair falling out. So, and all this because of this radioactive. Forget about seafood, and not only in Japan, but the other places as well. And this is why it's important. That's why I had to share that health tip with you, to put this with perspective. I didn't do it randomly. I did it for a reason. It's because the consequences, it's going to be on the long term. And like I always say, your health is your best asset. Money comes and goes. Material stuff comes and goes. Your health is the key. So for the next 30 years, Japan would be slowly releasing treated waters. They call it treated water storing tanks. That's the image I showed you earlier at the site. And where are they going to release it? Into the ocean through, by the way, it's going to be through a pipeline that is about 1 kilometer from the coast. Which basically, this image right here, guys, where is it? Right there. That's where it's going to be. 1 kilometer from here into the ocean. This is what they are planning on doing. But the question we need to ask, and again, you don't have to be a scientist, a nuclear scientist, to understand this, whatever. You ask the simple question. A layman will ask a simple question. How safe is it? You know, that's why I said last time, you be aware. Now, if I were living in the region, forget about drinking tap water. You can't even consider that. Now, some will say, well, you got to boil water. Well, how much can you boil? You can only boil so much. So, because now the safety, not only of human health, but also the marine environment, what is going to do to the fish. And as I know, based on what I know, and I've been in that part of the world, in Thailand and Cambodia and around the neighboring countries there, fish is a big deal. And I eat fish on a weekly basis, usually, because fish is very important. So let alone what it's going to do now to the humans in general across the Pacific region. This is why for Japan to be saying, "Oh, we're going to just dump it in the Pacific Ocean and it will be fine." No, it won't be, because the rest of the world will be impacted by that. And can you imagine if there is, like, say, another hurricane, another tsunami, another whatever, that the wind's going to carry whatever? Yeah. That's the important, because here is the thing why. And I'm going to tell you why, because I need to share some pictures with you here. Look at this image here, guys. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right there. This image here. Now, this one here, you're looking at the type of contamination. This is an internal contamination, which occurs when people swallow or breathe in radioactive material. So if you think they're going to release the water, do you think we don't breathe that stuff? So, and also when you're radioactive, get this, guys, material enters your body through an open wound. All of a sudden, it's going to be lodged here. Of course, your thyroid is going to be impacted big time. Like in this one here. There's the image, just to show you. Okay. Here is another image here. Let me take this out and share this one here with you. This one, the review, more contamination that will occur through other environments. For example, because it's just either or in an object or a person. Radioactive materials released to the environment can of course cause air, water, services, soil, plants, building, people, or even animals to become contaminated. So just think about it. A contaminated animal, what that's going to do. So, and this is where the spread of contamination. So if the Japan is talking about, oh, it's going to be just limited to the ocean, that's nonsense. It is nonsense. And this is why you are noticing or witnessing, for example, even in Japan, Japanese people are demonstrating against it because they know what it means. There was another image here somewhere. I had it. This is, of course, the image from the hurricane, the tsunami that took place. So you have people in South Korea, for example. They are demonstrating to that. Activists in Japan, they are speaking vociferously about not agreeing to their government. And like I said earlier, guys, what this is going to do to the fish industry in Japan. As a matter of fact, it was, I did see, what is it? I kept a copy of it. Yeah, the head of Japan's fishery unions said releasing the water will have catastrophic impacts on the industry. Now this is the guy in Japan. What do you think other countries? Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, China, you name it. And this is where this issue of, are they really realizing what are they doing? Or are they manipulating the report to justify whatever? That's the way I see it. It's manipulation. And the way to know, guys, have you heard much talk about this topic across the platforms? Because I haven't. Very brief and very targeted. I know where to look for information. That was part of my academic background. You will know where to look for information. That's what prompted me to share this with you, because you need to be aware. My job is to bring you the accurate information. Your job is to take that information, think it through, and reach your conclusion. So let me get back to my other talking. I want to make sure I talked about everything here that is. So, by the way, a radiation exposure, just FYI for you to know. Radioactive materials gives off, get this, guys, gives off a form of energy that travels in waves or particles. This energy is called radiation. So when a person is exposed to radiation, the energy penetrates the body. Even when we do, for example, X-rays, or when you go see your dentist and they have to do the images, whatever. I did it a couple times, but most of the time I don't like that because I know the radiation. Same with the phone. You're holding that phone to your head, the radiation is getting into your head. Use what you call it, the headphones thing, whatever, speaker, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people, and when you go to bed, put the phone away because the radiation is emanating while you're sleeping. So those are some at least the basic things for you to know. So now what I want to talk about. And by the way, guys, if you think about this issue, and again, you put it within the big picture. If you think about this and tie it to what's going on right now when it comes down to Ukraine-Russia conflict. So if we are talking about radioactive that Japan claims to be, treated, can you imagine what a nuclear war will lead to? Which what seems we are the one pushing the Russians towards. Because I don't know, based on the research that I did, that Russia has in its doctrine, it will deploy nuclear if its internal security is threatened, or not just internal, but the security of the state. In other words, the whole country, the whole Russian Federation is threatened, which what we seems we are doing. So just imagine just this basic information that I shared with you about, and multiply that one by 1,000 times when it comes down to release or the detonation of a nuclear device. And this is where the catastrophe that some policymakers have no idea, because they think they're going to be in a bunker, and most likely they will be in their own bunkers. Yeah, those who talk about all this, they do have a plan B. It's underground. So they won't be impacted for a while. As a matter of fact, the building of bunkers here in the US went up for those who can afford it. I can't afford one. So, but I'm also educating myself indirectly through other means to make sure. Yeah. Do I have iodine near me? Yes, I do. Do I eat the food that can prevent the stuff from happening? Yes, I do. And again, like I always said, my job is to provide you the information. Your job is to take that information, think it through, and reach your conclusion. And this is, again, guys, what prompted me to think about doing a channel for you about health. And I know some of you already expressed interest in that, and I will, because you have my word. I'm a man of my word. So now here is the would you call it a shocker? So the UN, United Nations Nuclear Agency, endorses Japan's plan to release treated radioactive. And what are we talking about, nuclear agency here? We're talking about the IAEA also, International Atomic Energy Agency. So let me show you the picture of the guy so you know what I'm talking about. This guy here. Now, what do you see in this picture? Can't you tell he's a little bit awkward about it? Something is up, right? He knew the moment he decided to take that picture that the truth will come out. And that's what I intend to share with you. So the UN Nuclear Agency has given its endorsement. So listen carefully, guys, because those words are picked up specifically. As a matter of fact, I'm taking that research that I found, I'm sharing it with you as is. I usually provide my analysis or assessments, but the wording, I keep it as is. So for you, first of all, to learn how to start to differentiate between this and that. And second, that's from the source. My analysis and assessments are on that. So the UN Nuclear Agency has given its endorsement to Japan's planned release of treated radioactive waters into the sea from the damaged nuclear power plants. Now, the next question you ask yourself, how come they agreed to that? Knowing that half of the other scientific community are saying, you can't do that. You are damaging the environment. You are damaging the livelihood of people. You are causing cancer for people. And the next question will be, is this part of a much bigger plan? I don't talk conspiracy theories on I talk of what I know. Conspiracy and all that's my brain doesn't function on that stuff. Because for me, if there are no facts, I can't be talking about something. Same here. So the next question would become is if the scientific, half of the scientific community are pushing against what Japan is planning to do, and you got the IEEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, saying, oh, we just certified that the water is treated. Because here's the thing, and keep the picture in mind. Keep this in mind. This one right here. I'm sorry. This one. Keep this in mind. So, 2 days ago, on Thursday, today is Saturday. So on Thursday, Japan denied, listen carefully, denied foreign media report that it made political donations of over 1 million euros to the International Atomic Energy Agency over the planned release of treated water from the Fukushima #1 nuclear plants into the ocean. I'm going to share some things with you to see with your own eyes. And I'll put a link for you. All right, let me get to it right here. Share screen so you'll see. Right here, guys. This is the report, and I'm going to open this for you to see. And you read through till you come to this sentence right here, and I'm going to read it for you guys. The internal document is quite certainly making us question their future transparency and their intention to protect truly the marine life and the health of the people. Cheap expediency, lying by omission, when not just plain lying, are part of their usual modus operandi. So right here, guys, and I'm going to share it with you. So you'll have it and you can read. Because that's all what this is all about. Let me stop sharing this one here. And I'm going to share the link with you. So you'll have, there we go. I posted for you guys. And again, the idea of this is from a whistleblower inside. And the question we'll ask is, will this whistleblower be heard? So, and that's why I'm saying, is there a cover-up regarding this? And my answer is yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me share this with you again, another link for you guys to copy link, and I'll share it with you. Information is power, guys. Always remember that. Copy, and I'll share another link with you guys. So when you get a chance to read it later on, just this way you'll have a better understanding of what's going on. So and this is why you have now environmental activists in, as I said, both South Korea and Japan. They are pushing against the narrative of the government that is saying, oh, there is nothing there. You know, the water is safe. It's just tap water. It has a little bit of radiation on it. There's no such thing. It's either contaminated or not. There is not in between. And this is one of the reasons why it prompted me to do the video for you guys and do the live stream for it, because to expand even further on this, especially when I found out about the cover-up from the IAEA. So why should we trust international organizations like that, like the ICC, for example, the International Criminal Court, or now the IAEA, or even the UN for that matter? You know, I won't. Knowing what I know, I won't trust them. How could I? So, and that's again the idea of you guys to think in terms of, especially, I do know I have a lot of viewers for this channel from that part of the world, and I'm really concerned. Some of you might be married, having kids, whatever, and now if I put myself in the issue and having a little one growing up, I gotta now be thinking twice. Do I let them drink that tap water or not? I gotta worry about, do I let them play on the ground or something like that, because things could be contaminated. The water doesn't stay put, water moves. I mean, I saw it right here in our own state. When the river wasn't treated, and you're seeing animals, cats and dogs, becoming so sick. And like what happened last time, as I mentioned in the video, for Flint, Michigan. So this is why it's so important for you guys to truly understand the information. It's because it impacts your daily life. Your health matters, because here's the harsh reality, which I don't sugarcoat it. If you get sick and you fall down, it's over. To take care of somebody with something like that, it will be very, very hard on a family, which requires 24-hour care. So to me, Japan government embarking on this is irresponsible. And this leads us to the other question. What are the options? What do you guys think? If you are to make a decision on this issue, what would you suggest? Just type in on the chat box, because I like to hear your opinion first of all. Not here, but read about your opinion. I like to read your this is how I know how you think, because we are a community into all this. Yes, I don't live there, but I am already concerned that the things could come up right here close by. Remember, 30 years. This is not a one-time deal. 30 years. They're going to be dripping slowly into the ocean. So let me see. Yeah, if you can type in, if you have any suggestion, guys. And yes, you are correct. Yeah, you are correct. Choifau, you are absolutely correct about the train wreck in Ohio. Yeah, most Americans have no idea. They have no idea, because the administration is keeping them busy with other. Oh, we gotta go give money to Ukraine and fight the Chinese in Taiwan and South China Sea and foment tensions in Africa, and every citizen in Ohio is struggling. The government is not providing the aid. So, I mean, we don't even know what we're gonna do if that water is contaminated in Hawaii or California, for that matter. Yeah, let me just see some suggestions from you as to what you think. What will be the other options? No, and for yeah, no, Greta is not in Japan. And by the way, guys, she just did a commercial for an oil company. I wish I would have kept the. I wish I would have kept. Let me see if I can get it for you. Making I just read on it earlier, and I had the picture. If I could find it, that would be great, and I'll share it with you. Yeah, so that's the whole idea, guys. It's just for you to really be aware, because again, God, I hope you are keeping your eyes on your health. But if you get sick, it's problematic not just for you but your family as well. It's because it's painful, especially if to take care of a family that is a member of a family 24 hours. It's no easy task. Yeah, I'm trying to locate that image, but I don't have it here. I don't know what it is, but if I find it, I'll share it with you guys in a post on the community, because I did see it. I read on about it earlier, and I just lost it somewhere. So anyway, so let's move on with our talk. So this is one of now the issues that you're gonna have to be thinking about in terms of, okay, well, how this is now, that it's now, as we say in French, is fait accompli. It's a done deal. So Japan already donated the 1 million euros to the IEA for them to conclude the report. And the report came out as saying, oh, it has a minor radioactive material in the water, so it still can be safe to release in the water, which is not true. It's not true. Mark my word on this, guys. The government will never tell you the truth. I don't care how great the government is. Yeah, government will never tell you the truth. So let me see what your answer is. If any of you put some answers as to what's need to be done in case you can think of a suggestion as to, if not releasing it in water, what are the other options? So yeah, if you get a chance, guys, to put it there. I mean, I did read some comments from some of you. Some said, you bury it inside Japan. I would say, yeah, why not? You dig holes inside the ground, but it's still, you're talking about, things move underground, water and everything else. And this is, again, this is why it became clear to me why we sucked in Australia into our orbits regarding the nuclear submarines. Why? It's because the nuclear waste will most likely be dumping it in Australia. That's what I see coming. Now, Australian government knew about it or not, I don't know. But it's sad to realize that Aussies had no say into that, let alone now the health issues they're going to be dealing with soon. Because we will be dumping nuclear waste in Australia. Because Australia can't say no to the US. There are those who joke that, Australia is another state. It's not a laughing matter. It's very sad that countries can't take stand. The leaders of those countries can't take stand. I look at it now just with and be on the lookout for a video I'm going to be releasing for you, and I'll give you a heads up on it. For the head of the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, took stand against the EU by saying, no, I am not going to support you sending money to Ukraine next year. $162 million. Because, and his argument and justification, and rightly so, is that I will not put the welfare of the Ukrainian people before the welfare of my people in Hungary. And rightly so, because that's what you will expect from a leader. So to me personally, Viktor Orban, I like a guy or not, I don't care for that. I don't care about taking stand. He took stand when it matters, because that's what leadership is all about. If you can be tested as a leader in a hard time and show that you are indeed thinking of the welfare of your people who voted you in, then you're useless. And that's exactly what we're seeing in Europe with Germany, with France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, UK, Greece, you name it. Poland, Lithuania, Slovenia, you name it. Bulgaria. But at least on this one, yes, Orban did support the sanctions, but he was against it. And to me, this is much bigger picture. To me, this is the hint of what is lying ahead, what's coming. What lies ahead is that I won't be surprised that Hungary will say to the EU, you know what? We're done with you. We don't want to be a member anymore. Because the demise of the EU, sooner or later, it's going to materialize. The world is shifting. I'm sure you guys heard this morning that it's official now that the BRICS is using a currency backed by gold. Those things don't happen in a vacuum. And you have to have an understanding of the big picture, because without that you won't understand, or you won't be able to put this within the context of how this is now is going to impact not only your health but your economy, your pockets, your family, your business, in addition to your well-being, of course. That is the big picture of it. So European, the Western, collective West. And it's no different for them in Europe than for us here, with a weak leadership in the White House to begin with. I don't care for both parties. And I say it out loud. I don't give a damn about any party there, because there are none that are working for the people. President or what, I'll give you the proper respect, but that's about it. When you do wrong, I'm going to tell you. I maintain, as we learn in the military, we have what we call military bearing. You maintain the chain of command and all that. But hey, when you do wrong, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm going to let you have it, because what you did was wrong. And same what we are noticing now with, for example, the leadership in Japan, in Korea, in South Korea, that is, in Australia, here in the US, in Germany, in France, in the UK, in Spain, Portugal, Italy. I mean, Italy, for Christ's sake, just decided to withdraw from the BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. What they're saying? They're saying now, the politicians, the agreements didn't fit our budget or something into that effect, which is a lie. We all know they've been pressured. They've been pressured because they couldn't take stand and say, no, we are staying because it benefits our economy. But again, it's all by design. We have planned on this for a long time. Keep Europe under our thumb, in addition to Canada up north and Australia on the other side. And this is why now, guys, and again, see the big picture, why you are noticing what you're noticing in Africa. Because Africa is pushing back. As a matter of fact, Museveni, the president of Uganda, pushed back against Obama for his comment about LGBT nonsense stuff. So, and by the way, why do we still call a president who served his term, we still call him president? Call him by his first or last name. End of story. I don't call a president. If you are not currently a president, I won't call you by that title. So I call Obama, and I call Trump, and I call Clinton, and I call whatever. Yeah, it's because we are still in the mindset of the British, because Britain still using that kind of mentality. And this is, you see it reflected in India. This is why India couldn't get out of that mindset of colonialism and stand on their feet. India has potentials, but they are wasting it by staying in that mentality of meritocracy. And the same thing we are noticing now with this issue here, that the Japanese government, the government of Fumio Kishida, couldn't take a stand. Heck, they went out of their way by providing 1 million euros to the IEA. Because one thing you need to understand about those kind of organizations, they have to keep the coffers filled with money. Just follow the money, as they say. So this is where the big issue that my big concern, and I do have, I'm a little familiar with that part of the world and the living standards and how they live. And heck, one of my best friends, I haven't talked to him for a long time, by the way. My best friend, spent years. We were used to work together, and it was from Vietnam originally, and he would share stories with me about his life, and his name is Charlie. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And you just learn about the livelihood of how the hardships and all that stuff, and make a living. All of a sudden you have entity in Japan like this, just this government that is deciding to ruin the life of people in the whole region, and not just the region, the world for that matter. I mean, just think about it, guys. If the marine habitat becomes contaminated, what's going to happen to the fish industry? And people are living on that. Some people make a living on that. So deprive them out of even that. And that's where it leads me to start to think in terms of, is there something bigger here than meets the eye? Apparently. I mean, you think about it. The last pandemic we just dealt with, well, there were 13 million people died. You're smart enough to know, right? You know what I'm referring to. Yeah, because people in this community, they think. And I admire you all for that. All right, let me see what else. And if I don't have anything of importance, I'm gonna shut up. I'll get off the air. So, uh, oh, that's a different. And by the way, guys, oh, let me share this with you guys because I need to share it with you from one of our viewers. I don't know. I didn't get the permission to disclose the name, so I'm not gonna say the name, but I will share. Said, "Hi, Dr. Oualaalou. I heard some ideas to solve the problem at a higher costs. One of them is to use electrolysis to turn the radioactive water into oxygen and hydrogen. The remaining water concentrates more radioactivity but reduces the volume for storage. It will cost a whole lot more. And this way, can you organize an international movement for donations of money to solve such disaster? The environment's NGO make much big wave on carbon problem, but there is no voice from them on this disaster." Yeah. Yeah, so, and I always get very, very suspicious of when they start saying, "Oh, you're gonna donate money to support this cause." That's like what happened to me when I was in Poland. And when I was in Poland, I was approached by some teenagers holding the Ukraine flag and came to me, and I just looked at. I didn't say a word first, and said, "Start speaking Ukrainians," and I was like, "Sorry, I don't understand what you're saying." "Oh, you speak English?" I say, "Yeah, I do a little bit." So he said, "Well, can you donate money for Ukraine?" I said, "For what?" Oh, he said, "Yeah, because Ukraine need money for." And I said, "What should I give you money for?" I said, "Do you know what's even happening in your country? You know. And by the way, why aren't you fighting? What are you doing here? If you really love UK, you love your country, Ukraine, you should have been front line." Oh, and I said, "Do you understand what's causing the problem?" And he realized that, whatever I said, those basic things went over his head because I could see his eyes were just turning. Didn't get it. And I said, "Well, simply, I'm not going to give you money because I don't believe in your cause." Simple as that. Because I know that money is not going to reach. I mean, look at the billions of dollars we've been sending. Hell, didn't even make it to the front line. Did not even make it. As a matter of fact, I even find out that now from our Social Security department, we send $3 million to support some sovereign funds for Ukraine. Why the heck are we sending our tax dollars to sovereign funds for Ukraine? That just defies logic. And that's why you can't trust the government, what the government is saying. And shame on our administration. You know, a lot of people were thinking about what the Democrats going to do good by the American people. They're no different. They both, the Republicans and Democrats, are the two faces of the same coin. And they are controlling the political process. That's why they are not allowing any third party to emerge. So, what are you left with? You can read between the line if you happen to be an American watching this, because otherwise there will be no change. Change doesn't happen on its own. You make change happen. Okay. Yeah, I'm still not surprised, but because I know how crooks that agency can be. Because I when I was doing the research for the Iran book, and I was following exactly the statements of the IEEA and how manipulative. And by the way, this guy Marino, I think, is from Argentina. Has been bought like every other, because once they have a taste of power, it gets into their heads, and that's it. So they all become corrupted. So there's no other way around it. All right, let me guys see if there are any questions, and I'm gonna sign off on this, and we'll prepare some other conversation for next week. As always, by the way, guys, always suggest topics, whatever you feel comfortable or you like me to talk about. It just has to be topics that we all can benefit from it, because remember, it's a community. It's a community. That's how I look at it. All right, let me first see where are you joining me from. Then I'll answer a question or two. And remember, guys, if you want to really show your support for this channel, become a member so we can reach at least that 100 number, and we'll do an exclusive Q&A for the members, but also to show your support. If you feel like doing it, it's your decision, man. The knowledge I share with you, it's not easy to come by. I do spend a lot of time. And as I told you last time, I've turned down a full-time teaching position to do this because I believe in this. It's all about belief. So. All right, let me see who. Oh, Don Emilio Garcia from Montreal. Good to have you. Funny, I just flew back from Montreal a few days ago. I was in Montreal. I was in Laval area. So, and I'm familiar with Montreal. I used to live there way back. So. Hamad City, Great Britain, good to have you. Irvin Garrett, Kentucky, good to see you again. Okay, Jennifer Lay, good to see you from Malaysia. Josh Joplin, Philippines, from Philippines. Speaking of Malaysia, Jennifer, before I forget, I am still collecting, or compiling rather, information about whether Singapore or Singaporeans think of themselves as highly mighty in comparison to other neighboring countries. And so far, there are some private statements I received through either Twitter and what's the other one we have? Let me get to it here. Oh, Discord. It's called Discord. Is that the saying, for example, people moving from Malaysia or Indonesia to Singapore, they tend to be educated and they come to contribute to Singaporean economy. So they are treated like real customers. On the other hand, people coming from Philippines are looked down upon by some Singaporeans because those are considered laborers. They are laborers per se. I don't know the truth to all this, so I can conclusively confirm this. I am doing the research, and I will do a video for you guys about this once I gather. So any information from you, if you happen to be on the ground, will be greatly appreciated, with the assumption that the information is as accurate as it is. So. All right, Josh Joplin from Philippines. Good to see you as always. Let me see who else from Athene Wu, as always, from Europe. Osiris, you're right about the answer of the picture of this one here. Let me show you. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it. Yeah, I do. About when I asked you guys a question, what's yes, you're right, Osiris. She was by herself because no Chinese official was welcoming her. In addition, it was no red carpet. And that tells the story right there. So you're absolutely correct, Osiris. Okay, let me see who else from what part of the world. Vancouver. Raymond Lee. Hello to you as well from Vancouver in Canada. Okay. So, yeah, no more sushi for Japanese. because of the radiation. So, SK Wong, good to have you from London. That's Hong Kong. Good to have you. Um, yeah, I'm scrolling down, guys, just to see if I see any of you from some other parts of the world. Okay, well, great. So I don't see any other ones. So if and I'm looking through also to see if there is any question, and I'll be happy to answer it for you. I'll answer one or two. So, oh, KL, thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate it. KL is also another member that truly has been supporting the channel, and I'm very grateful. I want you all to know I don't take this for granted. That is why I start the show with thanking members. I know there was one comment one day about somebody, oh, you're taking too long in greeting this, greeting that. Yeah, because that takes precedent over others. It's priority. That's just a show of respect. So what if it takes 5 minutes? So what if it takes 10 minutes? Won't you do the same and be grateful and show that to your viewers and supporters? To me, it was like stupid. No need for making a comment like that. Doesn't make sense. That's my way. Doing this, that's my way of showing appreciation and respect for my viewers. So, sort of get over it, man. So, thank you very much, KL. I truly appreciate it. All right. Oh, here's a question from Meow Smiley. Question. Doctor, you have heard about the European Sky Shield initiative, and what's your opinion about it? Once again, is one of those things that I can't talk about conclusively because till I confirm the information. So, for something like this, I don't want to speculate. Yes, you can think outside the box, but I can't speculate. And once I confirm this, I'll be happy to answer it. Just remind me next time we do this. I should have confirmed the information by then. So thank you so much. Athin Wu, let's see your question here. Question, do you think that the end of Japan will really be allowed? I'm sorry. Do you think in the end, Japan will really be allowed to release the nuclear contaminated water in the ocean? Could China and Russia stop this? Well, China already expressed or filed a complaint with Japanese ambassador in Beijing. How can they stop it? I don't know how, and I don't see how, because that becomes the question on, and this is where that hypocrisy and double standards. Where is the West into this? And that's when you realize there's a cover up of sort. Heck, we are not even saying a word here in the US about it. That's what prompted me to cover this topic. I don't look around the YouTube sales talking. No, I don't care whether they're talking about it or not. But I just realized this is what the viewers needs to know because they need to be aware of what's going on. So, how Japan and Russia stop it? No, I don't see how. Because if any forceful tactic from either Russia or China or both could be interpreted differently. And we all know what it means. Both countries, Russia and China, do have issues with Japan. China on one end regarding Taiwan, and Russia on the islands, in northern islands with Japan. So you can just see it's a very, very delicate. The only thing that I am certain of is this shows hypocrisy of the West when they knowingly allowing Japan to release radioactive material into the water. So anyway, guys, I hope you find, there's one more question. I'm going to answer it here from S. Question, how do you think AI will influence international relations and geopolitics? Oh boy, that question goes far away from radioactive stuff. It is a lot. I just listened to the conference that took place yesterday with the participation of AI, believe it or not. And AI said, well, humans have nothing to fear. We are not going to dominate them or sort of order them to do whatever. I'm not a scientist into AI stuff. I can again speculate in things I don't know about. All I know is that the machine could take over. And if the machine takes over, machine doesn't have emotions. Machines doesn't think in terms of rationale. That's where my big concern is. So, so let's hope some cool head prevailed in preventing that from happening. All right, guys. Well, I hope you find this very informative. And again, I enjoyed being with you on the weekend here. I hope you have a safe rest of the weekend that is. Be safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. As always, remember, geopolitics impacts your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye bye.